Player weekly webinar call. We're going to get started here in just a minute, but before we do, if you would be so kind as to confirm that you can both hear my voice as well as see my screen, and then we can get started. Thank you. Alrighty, excellent. We're getting some confirmations that both audio and video are good. Hello to Jim, RV, Mike, Dean, Stephen. Welcome everybody to the VooPlayer Q&A week webinar call, which we are holding with the purpose of answering any questions that you as users may have. Also, addressing any advanced training needs or covering use cases that utilize video in your business. Also to showcase new stuff that we've been working on, as is the case today, as well as to gather feedback and constructive criticism on how we can keep improving VooPlayer. So my name is Peter. I am VooPlayer's product manager, and I'm holding these sessions. In case that you are not able to attend one of these webinars, replays are available both on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/VooPlayer, as well as on our Facebook group, which if you haven't already, I recommend you subscribe and join too. Excellent. So the format of the webinar is pretty straightforward. So at any time that you have a question, just feel free to type it out in the chat box, and we're just gonna start answering them in the order that they come in. Remember, there's no wrong or stupid questions. Everybody's welcome. There's a lot of new VooPlayer users, and we're welcoming everybody and are glad to help you out with any needs that you have. That's kind of the idea behind these webinars altogether. All right, cool. So what I wanted to show you is something new that we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, almost a month now, is a completely new approach to how video analytics are handled and how you can get data out of your viewing, out of your viewers and behaviors, and how you know which of your videos are performing well, which are not, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Thus far, you were able to sort of analyze the performance of the videos individually. So if you come into the insights for any particular video, that's going to give you some, base metrics for sort of what's the average percent watch, what are the total loads, what's the play rate versus the loads for the video, sort of the data behind the individual views, locations, et cetera, as well as sort of the demographics for each video, as well as the conversion data. So all of that data has thus far been available on individual video basis, and what we've really figured out would make a big difference in how VooPlayer users are utilizing analytics is by providing you with an ability to sort of generate reports for all of your videos. So what this means is that now you are able to review all of those metrics for all of your videos together, and you can sort of generate reports in different ways, and I'll cover all of that. So the basic idea behind this is And sorry, when I say you are able to, this is still not available. So I'm showing this as this is the first time this is being shown, and it's going to be available next week. It's not available in this week's release. So next week you're going to be able to see the reports for all of your videos, and you're able to sort of set up the filters which you want applied to that report. So for example, by default, this is the last 7 days that all of my videos performance compared to the 7 days before that. So it's a period-to-period comparison. And as you can see, for each individual video, you can see that. So for example, for this aerial shot of Seascape, we can see that it had 16 loads, which is 128% better than the previous 7 days. It had a play rate of 62%, which is slightly worse than the previous period, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You also have the average watch times and the complete rates for all of those views. Up on the top, you have sort of the combined metrics for all of the videos combined. So that's sort of a summary report of everything. So as I said, you can set up different kinds of filters. So for example, if you wanted to, you can say, hey, give me the performance of last 30 days. So that's going to give you a little bit more data there. And then you can say, all right, well, I just want to see only videos which have been played on my blog. So for example, in my case, well, give me only the videos which have been playing on blog.voolplayer.com site. So that's gonna filter it down to only the views which came from the blog.voolplayer.com domain. Also, aside from the domains, you're also able to filter based on countries from which the viewers have watched your video, also by groups in which the videos are. So you can, for example, I have the QA webinar replays group, then I can only see those. So you can set up the filters for, or look for an individual video which you would like to gather reports for. So that gives you a combination of different things which you can combine in order to generate a report that's useful for you. So a simple use case might be, for example, hey, give me only last 7 days for my blog, right? So I'll just give me last 7 days and only the videos which have been playing on my blog, and that's what I'm fine. That's all I need. So with that report now sort of created, what I can do is I can do two things. One is I can save and automate this report. So that's a great way I can name this. So let's call this weekly blog report. And I can set the interval for it. So for example, I want it to run on weekly basis. That makes sense. And then I can hit save and automate this report. So what's going to happen is once I hit this, this report with all of these filters is going to get saved. And each week, it's going to run the report with those filters for the views from that week. And you're going to get a report via an email. And that's going to give you the data in the email. You're also going to have an ability from the email to jump back into the application, review it, and filter it down even further if you want to, as well as it's going to give you an ability to view all of that data in a Google Sheet. I'm not sure if this is going to work, so let me just give it a go and see if the Google Sheet reports are ready. So the exporting of data should, if this works, and I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I don't know which environment I'm on, but the end result should be really is to give you the report, all of this data in Google Sheets. So that's something that we've been working on for the past few weeks, and we believe it gives you the ability to sort of understand the performance of your videos on a whole different level rather than just reviewing individual video performance one video at a time. So this gives you an ability to understand your entire ecosystem, which we believe is an extremely valuable thing, and we hope that you'll find a lot of use cases for it. We're of course going to put out a significant amount of how-tos and documentation around these reports, and we're planning even further enhancements for displaying. Let me give this Google Sheets a whirl once more just to see if it was something on my end currently in my local environment. So that might be what's throwing it off. But basically, as I mentioned, is going to give you the ability to automate, act on, and review the data and performance of your videos across many different use cases. So we hope that you'll find this update very useful, and stay tuned throughout next week when we start sort of rolling this out to our enterprise users and start giving some demos, as well as templates which we can utilize, as well as the documentation around how all of this is actually working. One more note, so this is great. You can see sort of the basic metrics for all of these videos, but if you, so for example, I see that the personalized data is performing slightly worse. It has a significantly lower complete rate and a significantly lower load. So I can, if I want to, I can just jump straight into the individual metrics for this particular video straight from this dashboard. So that gives me the ability to sort of dive deeper into the data from the dashboard. So the dashboard for the report and the report itself give you a fairly nice overview of everything, whereas the individual insights, which you can jump into straight in from the report without leaving it, are giving you the ability to dive a little bit deeper. So hopefully, as I mentioned once more, this is going to be, you're going to find this fairly useful, and we're looking forward to feedback on what else can we add to these reports, what other filters can we include, what other metrics would you be interested in seeing, et cetera, et cetera. So really looking forward to releasing this next week and seeing how you guys are utilizing it. Let me just take one look at my webinar platform. I hope that I didn't lose you, everybody. I just tabbed back to the webinar, and I'm not seeing any activity. Can somebody just confirm if we're still connected, if we're still live, if the webinar is still live? I might have to refresh my page. Seems like I might be frozen in time. Hello. All right. Now I got a bunch of chats coming in. It seems like everything was frozen. All right. Cool. Now let me see, because all of your messages just popped in all at once. Let me just sort of scan through them. So hello to Shade, hello to Lewis, Stephen, everybody joining in. Hello to everybody. Apologies for slight technical difficulties there. Let me get my screen up as well again. All right, cool. So let's see, Lewis, just a warning, the demo is not working in Firefox, Safari, and Opera, so only Google Chrome. All right, that's interesting, good to know. That's cool with regards to the analytics. Stephen is saying that's a big step forward for optimizing video use and grabbing metrics. Awesome upgrade, thanks. Yeah, and one thing that I forgot to mention is that we really want to, so this is sort of phase one of the report. Sort of the phase two would be really putting a lot of makeup on this and making it really presentable and making it very visually appealing, with graphs and charts, et cetera, nice tables that you can generate PDF reports out of, and then you can share those with your clients, and so on and so on and so on. So this is just sort of the beginning of this. We're just kind of scratching the surface of what we can do with all of the data collected, and we think this on its own is pretty powerful. So hopefully there's going to be a lot of feedback rolling in next week. Dean is saying, I like what I see. Thanks for doing it. Of course, we were always looking to add more value wherever we can, and we felt this was definitely a good opportunity for us to utilize. Lewis is saying I'm not seeing anybody else's comments. Yeah, that was the issue that I was experiencing as well. I was only able to see my message and then nobody else. Lewis, you might want to. What I did was I just refreshed my screen and then all of the comments, all of the messages just popped in at once. All right, cool. Awesome. So that's what I really wanted to cover. I know last week Bill was on the webinar and he was talking a little bit about our new plans and some of the changes with regards to that, and he hinted at the new analytics and what we're going to be doing with that. So if you guys have any questions or concerns with regards to either the recent changes with regards to the pricing or how these analytics are going to work, what you might feel would be a significant contribution to them, we are all ears. So just feel free to shout out to us either during the webinars or once you start playing with this on support. We're really open-minded with regards to where we can take this and how we can continue to improve and escalate this. Also, if you have any other questions with regards to anything regarding BluePlayer or your use cases, now will be a good time to enter them in the chat box. If you came prepared with any questions, it's always a good time just to drop them in the chat box as soon as you join the webinar, and then we can answer them in the order that they come in. What else? See, now the tricky thing is that I'm not sure if if my comments are frozen again or nobody is asking anything. So just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to give it another refresh just to make sure that there's been no new. All right, seems that we're back. Lewis is saying that worked. Stephen is saying maybe add an analytics trend line option over time for a selected videos, time frame, and metric. PDF reports would be awesome for marketing and case studies. Yeah, PDF reports are definitely something that we're doing. Maybe add an analytics trend line option over time for a selected video. So those are already available, actually. So as I mentioned, what you can do is jump into an individual video that you want. So for example, if I jump into this aerial shot of seascape, that's going to open up the detailed reports for that video. And in it, you have not only just the viewing data for all of that, but you also have the if it will open. It seems like I'm frozen entirely. So either way, the way that it should work is, but I can't click on anything now for some reason. Nothing. Oh, there we go. Is that you can click over here on the demographics, and that's going to give you the trend line charts for the entire video. Well, there we go. Now stuff is happening. Might be my computer, might be my local server. Let's give it one more go. See if this is going to behave any better. And it looks like it won't. So never mind. I'll leave that for another time. But basically, the individual charts for all of the videos are going to be held in this pane, which opens up from the right-hand side every time you click on one of the videos in the dashboard. So hopefully you'll see, and if you feel that there is a particular chart which is missing, there's charts for views over time, and we can add percent watched over time, complete rate over time, et cetera, et cetera. Those are probably great additions which we can add in the future. So all of the, as I mentioned, the ability to generate reports, save and automate reports is going to be pretty powerful, because then on each interval, currently we're going to have daily, weekly, and monthly options. Each time that report is ran, you're going to get all of that data in the email, and also all of that data is going to be populated in a Google Sheet, which you're going to get a unique link to. So that way you're going to have all of that data allocated, and you can save it on your end as well, without ever fearing to lose it. And that way you can extrapolate on it even further by doing anything you want with it, really. And that's where I think that makeup part is going to come in on the ability to save out those reports. That's where we're going to start adding PDF, etc. I'm going to do another refresh. Yeah, it looks like every time that I refresh my browser, new comments pop in. So apologies if I'm not getting to any of them. Lewis is saying, we spoke about a couple of bugs. Any idea on the timeline before they're fixed? We're keeping that in the support channel. Then we'll make recommendations for the amount of SEO tags or best practices for this within WooPlayer. SEO tags are, so what Lewis is referring to is the ability to specify tags within the SEO settings for each video. Man, my computer is really slow for some reason. So let me just open up one video. And if I come over here to settings, advanced options, social and SEO metadata. So what Lewis is referring to is the tags which you can specify within here, and basically what they are equaling to in the SEO world is that they are just being saved out as SEO keyword tags, and it's a feature of SEO which is good to use, but from what I know, at least, and I'm no SEO expert, so don't take my recommendation at any face value, but the keywords no longer hold any value at all. So that's really an SEO question. I'm not an SEO guy, so I'm not able to answer that effectively, I feel. Sorry about that, Lewis. I'm going to do another refresh. All right, this time around, no new questions. All right, let's see if we have one or two maybe questions which we can get to before we wrap it up for today. If there are no further questions, I'd just like to thank everybody who joined this week. Hopefully we'll see you next week as well. It's a great help for us to get on these calls and sort of demo and preview some of the new stuff that we've been working on, and be able to gather some feedback on this. So well, we really appreciate it. If you keep thinking about this throughout your week and how you might be able to utilize, for example, these new reports, and then come back the following week with some questions on if we can add something or if we can improve something, that really helps us drive this and improve this one step at a time. So thanks in advance for all of the questions which you'll hopefully have next week as well. And until such time, I wish you all a good remainder of your work week. Bye, everybody.